In Western Kasai, in the heart of the Democratic Republic of Congo, 7 people have contracted Ebola hemorrhagic fever. 39 others are showing symptoms of the virus. Results are due back from the laboratory confirming whether or not they are infected. In the meantime, 13 of them have already died.
The first symptoms of Ebola are difficult to distinguish from other infectious diseases or even chronic diseases. Patients present with fever, they present with general signs of weakness, of vomiting, of muscle pains. Later on in the disease, when you have an inflammatory response, you start to develop what we call haemorrhagic signs. You can develop hemorrhagic sign, which means that you start bleeding from various parts of your body. This is in the late phase.
The virus is fatal in 50 to 90% of cases. To improve the chances of recovery, the medical teams rehydrate their patients, provide them with psychological care, and try to relieve their suffering. The patients are isolated, as the disease is highly contagious. It's transmitted through blood, feces, and vomiting. An isolation center has been set up, like this one used last year.
An Ebola patient will mainly contaminate the person caring or treating him through his liquids. That means his vomit, diarrhea, tears and sweat. And if the patient is breastfeeding, she can even contaminate her child through her milk. Another way is through the tiny drops of saliva that the patient spits out in front of him. So we have to take precautions to avoid all contact with the patient's liquids. Avoid the virus getting in through the eyes, the nose or the mouth, which explains some of the equipment we have to put on before going near the patients.
Certain steps must be taken to contain the epidemic. Teams make daily visits to the homes of any person who has had contact with the virus. They check them for symptoms and disinfect their homes. It is also essential to circulate information on the disease and how it is transmitted.
It's really important that the population doesn't panic, but that they understand how the disease is transmitted and how to protect themselves. The more the population knows about the disease, the more it can help us to control it and bring the epidemic to a head as quickly as possible.
Teams are monitoring the surrounding areas carefully in case new patients are discovered.